Well, I'm heading back up country to meet Greg, go out and watch for bears again. This good looking woman just come up and I'm leaving. You believe it? That don't show good sense, does it?
It might.
Bye, bud. Bye, buddy. You go on. Headed out to meet Greg. We're going to try this bear thing one more time. Get her. It sure is pretty back here. This old Clear Creek. Yeah. Ken.
Video with this.
Mm-hmm.
Video with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a good one.
I'm just sitting up here thinking I might have to change coats. Getting a little nippy. Well, once again, no bear in Bear Mid. Couple of deer come through over here though. Did see that. No bear. Old switchback here. Well, needless to say, knowing my luck with bears anyway, did not get a bear yesterday. Now today, I'm leaving. I'm going to go up here and meet Greg. And like I said, Greg has had so many health problems that he just hadn't been able to hunt this year at all. And they finally diagnosed him a couple of days ago and got him on some medication, so he's feeling a little bit better. And today, I'm going to meet him up here at one of the farms that he hunts that generally has a pretty good deer population. And we're going to try, whoop, what that was, something fell down off the visor. We're going to try to get Greg a deer and hopefully get it on film here. So anyway, that's the plan. I'll meet him up there in about 30 minutes. Hello, Mr. Greg.
What are you doing, buddy?
I'm a video on this character.
Oh, well, yeah, you're videoing the character, all
A
right.
character, as old Junior used to say. A character. We have transposed over to Greg's truck. We're gonna go down here and hunt golfers. I don't believe we could get a limit of them.
Tell me.
They're everywhere today. Lord mercy.
Can you believe the weather we got?
No, 70 degrees.
My
Just
truck's at 75 right now. They're out here in shorts and t-shirts.
Oh. It's wild, and the calling for snow tomorrow night.
I know.
That's why it's so goddamn windy.
Yeah, I was worried about the ground blind. Came up here earlier after I checked the muzzle
Well,
loader.
Well, I'm telling you one something. Got to be careful which direction you shoot.
Well, we only shoot that direction.
No, I mean the wind will blow the bullet right back at you. No, there's your darn blind.
Yeah. I'm gonna park right up here behind this thing.
Yeah. There's
The
some
deer come off that hill up there. So I'll try to hide the truck behind this stuff. Got my tree stands up yonder.
That's a tree stand right there in the corner, ain't it?
Yeah, I got one over there in the woods, but right about there, it's about as good as it gets.
Are we home?
We're home.
I'm going to close this back. We're set up in one mighty fine looking place here. There'll be deer come out here out the yin yang.
Well, there was 17 out here the other night, is what I counted. But what they do, they come off the hill, the mountain up there. So ain't nothing for them to eat over there.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't nothing for them to eat up in there. That's where they bed. They come down through here. They go down here to the houses in the subdivision.
Where they got choice stuff.
Yeah, where they got the choice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just travel zone for them.
Acorns they're just a short-lived treat for them out of the year, that's all. They don't have to have acorns.
Well, it's an acorn tree.
But most people around here think they have to have acorns. Well, you
There's an
don't.
acorn tree up right there in the top corner up there, and there's one down over in that bottom, and they wore that thing out to
Oh,
shoot.
they love them things. Particularly the white oaks. They really like them. But they don't stay on them long, you know. A few weeks and that's it.
Well, I'm sure everybody knows.
But it sure is pretty. I don't know if this warm weather I don't think it's gonna help the deer hunting. Let me pop that in there for
I
you, bud.
can't get it. My fingers are all over the dang place. Oh shit! Right there at my hand. Oh shit! Almost.
I like that wrist.
Yeah, this locks it in.
Yeah, I like that wrist.
And you just unloosen this one here. My fingers will work. But it allows it to. And of course, it's got. That's you up and down, and then this one allows it to go. So once I figure out where I want to shoot.
Now, Greg, you talk about opposites. You talk about opposites. You look at that modern inland, that big fancy dress, and this old fella over here standing in the corner. We got it covered.
Oh yeah.
One end to the other.
I gotta back up something. Well,
Would you go ahead and shoot it today?
yeah. I hit Daryl. I'll let Daryl do it because I didn't want to waste his time. Put that thing in there. 2 shots, he had the thing zeroed in at 200 yards at an inch edge height 150.
You ain't got no excuse now.
I know. Well, it'll be me. It'll be on me.
You ain't got no excuse now.
It'll be on me.
See, we can erase that part, you know.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
My goodness. They got to be deer come out here.
Oh, they come out.
They
I
gotta
don't, I
be
don't
deer.
worry about up here.
They gotta be
It's a
deer
funny
come
thing this year. I've always had a lot of does on this property, and you never see a buck until the rut come in.
Right.
This year, all we seen was bucks up here. There was 5 bucks. I never seen the first doe.
Doug come up here with you one time. He said there's bucks around there.
We had 5 bucks out here running around and no does, and I'm like, what the heck? Well, we shot Anthony's dad because he couldn't get back to his tree stand. I told him, I said, bring your truck on right on up here. You can drop your daddy off. He's got cancer. I said, get him in the blind, and I said, he'll shoot him. He shot a 6-pointer, first set. Shot a nice 6-pointer. Well, then Doug come up here and he let I don't know how many deer go. He was after that one he called Crown Jewel, and I mean he had deer right in front of him, right down there in the bottom, right in front of him, and he would shoot. I'm down there in the truck. And, hey man, shoot that deer. No, that ain't the one I'm looking for.
Where were you at
I
now?
was down at the bottom of the hill in my truck.
Down at the house?
Yeah. Cause see, I could see if they come over this way, you know, then behind him, let him know. And I wasn't hunting. And I mean, them deer right in front of him. I'm like, shoot, he was not. He said, that ain't the one I want. I said, all right. So then Ray come up in West Virginia. And Ray didn't want to make that shot all the way up at the top of the hill because he wasn't sure of his rifle. So we ended up going to another property, and he shot a good doe up there. His opening of doe with rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a doe down. And then Doug come up here the day I went up to the cemetery, put flowers on Mom's grave and Judy's grave. He said, you mind if I go up there? And I said, no, go for it. So he goes up there, and I'm at the cemetery, and as I leave the cemetery, my phone rings. I said, what is it? He said, I think I shot Crown Jewel. I said, really? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I'm on my way. So about the time I pulled in, he'd already pulled up there at the hill and was looking at it. And I walked up, I said, yeah, that's it. I was tickled.
That's the picture you got there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that darn wind is a blowing.
Crazy. I went to bed, closed my eyes, and prayed for a better year than I had this year.
You had a rough 2020, didn't you?
I'm gonna redo this. I can't do this with my right hand.
Well, Greg here, he's had a rough 2020 or 2021, and
Ain't no lie there.
he was glad to see 22 come around.
Yeah, like I said, I closed
And
my.
he ain't been able to hunt hardly at all because of health problems. And my God, this is the first day of the year, last day of the season, and here we are.
That's right.
Now the deer, he's hunted this place here a lot, and the deer normally come out up here at the top of the hill. He's also got a tree stand there, if you can see, but he sent me some pictures the other day, and that upper end up there is loaded with deer. So we're hoping they come back again. He's got a good setup here.
You got that 6-foot muzzle loader over there for backup.
He's a modern man. He's a modern mountain man. He's got this inline with a space age tripod on it. Big old scope. He's sitting right over here beside it. It's a Tennessee poor boy.
That's the one that you hit him in the head with.
It's a little bit cumbersome in a blind like this. It ain't short and handy. You can accuse that gun of being a lot of things, but you can't accuse it of being short.
That's true. That's true.
We're going to sit and wait for a while.
It'll be a while.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've had a rough year with everything that's been going on with my family and my health and everything. I haven't been able to hunt that much, but I've been with some good hunts with Ray and Joe and Steve Newland and Uncle Doug, and
Uncle
I got Doug's brother Dennis Pritchard here with me, and think the world of him. We become good friends. Man, I eat breakfast up at his house yesterday. You talk about a spread, Lord have mercy. I was in a food coma while we were hunting. But Lord, we had a good time though. Good conversation. We just didn't see the bear we wanted to see. But today we're deer hunting, finishing out the season. I haven't put one on the ground, but I'm planning on it tonight. I've had help getting this situation ready, so we'll see what happens.
Got one last chance.
One last chance. This is the field we're hunting. This is the field I've been hunting for a long time. I think we got all this figured out. The deer, we had 17 out here the other night, which is good to have. Didn't have a whole lot during regular season. Had quite a few bucks up here, and they kept the does run off for some reason. But we'll see what happens tonight. Stick with it.
We don't have about 30 more minutes of shooting light left. It's actually a lot darker than it looks like in this camera. I can't believe we have not seen a deer come out in these fields today. Greg, you don't reckon that when the two of us get together, it creates bad luck, do you? Something's crazy. There's a golf course and a lake and a big fancy subdivision back behind us that the deer just love. Eating that golf course and the shrubbery in that subdivision. We're sitting right here on the edge of it. The crazy thing is, can't believe a darn deer hadn't come out up here. They retreat back up here to the cover of these woods. Daylight, evening stuff, they go back down here to the golf course. I think it's heavy winds that we've had all day might have them holding a little tight. I don't know. It's getting mighty late. They're going to have to show up pretty soon. Some deer spotted up here. That's a good buck right there, Greg. That's a good, you see? Got his hind end facing right at it. He's a decent buck, good buck. Nice daggum buck, but he run them does and went plumb out of sight there. Why couldn't he come over here?
Figures if he'd just come on down about another 30 yards, I'd have taken a shot at him.
Yeah, he just, I don't know,
Well, he kept his back to us all.
30, 40 yards too far out. Too little, too late. Well, a couple of days ago, I went out and walked around the farm with my own boots on. I had Ranch Wellingtons. Today, put on McKenna tracks. See if I can get a little bit better traction in that snow. Because I took a hard fall last time I was out. I just soon not do that today. So, put on some really good boots. And that's no guarantee that you're not going to fall. I wouldn't want to fall if I was 16 years old. But I'm 78 now. I'd just as soon not take any more falls. So, take my old 10mm. Never know what you might run into. Something up there's got those deer. Those two deer over here, something's got their attention up on the hill. I don't see anything. Just because I don't see anything don't mean nothing. Gonna go for a little winter walk around the place for no other reason than just look at it. That's reason enough. You know, it is for a fact a beautiful day here at the old homestead. My goodness. Sort of like a winter wonderland, I reckon. For some reason or other, I never get tired looking at it. Consider myself very fortunate to be able to live right here. And I never cease to thank the Lord for it. You've been mighty good to me. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. I am very much blessed of the Lord to be able to live here. May not be the greatest place on earth. Ah, but it ain't far from it as far as I'm concerned. My little corner of paradise. Lost Valley Ranch. Look at that blue sky. Ain't it pretty? I want to take a little follow-up to the last video about deer hunting success. If you take even some of the best deer hunting properties in the country, they're big enough to where they can control everything, and they've got the best feeding program ever was. I mean, they feed all the right stuff, the right minerals, right everything, and control predators. And they've got the best genes. They got the best of everything to grow good deer. But you can have all that, best food, best minerals, best everything, best predator control, best genetics. You can have all that. But there's still one thing you gotta have in order to have big deer: time. You gotta have time. Without enough time, even with all the other things going for them, you can't have a big buck if you don't have time to grow him. It's as simple as that. Well, it's the same thing as if whenever you go to try to get those bucks, you've had all these other things going for you: nutrition, predator control, genetics. You got all that. But when you go out there on that stand, you go out there to hunt him, whether you're hunting on stand or still hunting around or whatever kind of hunting you prefer, you still got to put in enough time. Time is the key element. Without enough time, you're dependent upon blind luck. Blind luck's a fickle thing. So now, even on the best of properties where you control everything, you still got to have the time. But for the vast majority of us who's out here, who's hunting farms, or little small farms, like maybe what I got here, or something like that, or public lands, national forest, in which I do, I do a lot of national forest hunting. Matter of fact, I do more of that than anything. Public lands, which I did forever, until I finally did get to farm here about 20 years ago. I mean, and I find myself more and more every year hunting more and more out here at the farm, because my buddies, a lot of them just, some of them ain't even with us anymore, and some of them just, well, they're just too old. They just don't want to get out there and fight it anymore. And so our camping trips into the mountains seem to get fewer and shorter. And as they do, the farm here at Quigley picks up slack. I still hunt as much as I ever did, but sometimes I hunt a little more comfortable, you know. I mean, I like hunting the big woods. That's my favorite thing. But I'm telling you, there's a whole lot to be said for the comfort of a good little shooting house like what I got here. But the video here of the last day of bear and the last day of deer season can illustrate the point. Now up there where I went bear hunting, on the farm that I went bear hunting, I mean, their bears are been seen there many times, by several different people. they're not there every day, but they're there frequently. But I only went up there 2 days. 2 days. And they weren't even consecutive days. They were went one day and waited a couple days before I could go back. So I've been up there 2 days. Now, the bears show up from time to time, not every day, but just from time to time, enough to warrant you hunting them there. But you need to spend the time. And I only spent 2 days. So, and each time only about 3.5 hours. So total, between the 2 days, I've got maybe 6, 7 hours of hunting in a place that the bears show up from time to time. So 6 or 7 hours is not a whole lot of time when you consider they just show up now and again. So I didn't have enough time. But I know that if I had stayed there, could stay there long enough, the season closed, but if I could have just kept going and going, go long enough, me and the bears both going to be there at the same time. But that didn't happen. Had a good hunt, had a good visit, and really getting to know Greg, and I appreciate him and his efforts that he put out to try to help me get a bear. And we've become really good friends, and I really appreciate Greg. So we just didn't have enough time. 2 days, 6, 7 hours, not enough time. But maybe next year it'll work out where I'll have the time, that I can spend enough time there, and if the bears keep showing up, one of them's going to go home with me. It didn't happen this year, but it was still a good bear hunt. It was. And thanks to Greg. We'll try it again next year. Now, on the last, the deer hunt with Greg out of his blind, let me say, this is a property that Greg's had for many years. He's taken quite a few deer off of it, and my brother got a really nice buck off of it this year. Greg had missed that buck because his physical abilities, it just very difficult for him to try, and he missed it. And he told my brother, if you want to try for him, you just go on up there. So Doug did. He got a really nice buck. A buck that they had named, what did they name that thing? Crown Jewel. They called him Crown Jewel. The Crown Jewel of all the bucks they'd seen. They'd been seeing several bucks up there, and this was the Crown Jewel, so they kind of nicknamed him that. And Brother Doug got the Crown Jewel. It's kind of cold out here this morning. But anyway, Greg had not been able to hunt hardly at all. And he'd gone pretty much through the whole season without hunting. He had hunted for a little bit at the beginning, and then he couldn't, his health just wouldn't let him go anymore. But here on the last day, he had gotten on some medication that was helping him some. So he just knuckled down and said, this last day I'm going to go. I'm going to go. It's the last day of the season. We'll knuckle down and go. So we did. We went up there. Now, he had driven by that place a day or so before, and there were 17 deer, all does, out in the field one evening, and he kind of went by in the morning, the day before that we go up there. Next to the last day of the season, he goes by and there's 13 deer out there that morning. He sent me several pictures of it. So when we go up and set up in his blind, we got high hopes that Greg would get one. And I even took my old muzzleloader. I mean, I took my old traditional Tennessee poor boy, And Greg's got a modern inline, scoped and all that. So we go and set up, and we got high hopes, at least getting Greg on. And if the hunting gods are shining on us, we might even get, I might even get a shot too. So we got 2 guns. Well, we go up and we set up, and as you saw, we did not get a shot. I mean, there were a total of 11 deer come out. 1 nice buck that's on film there, and 1 real nice buck come on out of when it's just too dark to get on film. I mean, you could see him, you could see the shooting, but you just couldn't get him on film. But there was 11 deer come by, including 2 bucks, but we still didn't get a shot. Now, the point is, there's deer come out here all the time. This place has a really good population of does and a fairly decent population of bucks. And they're there pretty much every day. Early and late, they're out there. But we only get to go 1 time. And even though we're going 1 time in a really good place, it just didn't work out. We just could not get the shot going 1 day, even though it's a very good place. We saw 11 deer, just could not get a shot. Not a shot that Greg was comfortable with. The closest one, probably about 140, 150 yards. And that's certainly too far away from my muzzleloader. So, though we saw deer, and in a place that produces a lot of deer and has a lot of deer, we only got to go 1 time, so we did not get a shot. It's time. You got to spend enough time, and 1 day, even in a good place, was not enough. And 2 days on the bear, in a place that the bears show up, not every day, but frequently, 2 days, a few hours each day was not enough. And 1 afternoon in a blind, in a place that has a lot of deer, just was not enough time. It's time. You have to spend the time. It's just be stubborn, keep going and going and going until you get him. It's that simple. I mean, as long as the season's open, keep going. It's that simple. And the last day of bear and the last day of deer, it just reinforces the point. The bear bear hunt was, like I said, a couple of afternoons in a place that has bears, shows up frequently, but not every day, of course. So 2 days was not enough. And then we went to a place that has a lot of deer, and they're there every morning, every afternoon. But we only got to go 1 time, the last day, last afternoon, and it wasn't enough time to get a shot, even though we saw 11 deer. We just didn't get a shot. But there's no way on earth that we could have gone back, if we had been able to go back a few times, I don't know how many, but guaranteed, if you go there enough, and it shouldn't take too many right there, but it's going to take, the point is, it's going to take more than one day. It's going to take a few days. So, just remember, whatever it is you're going hunting for, no matter what that might be, just don't get discouraged. Say, by golly, I'm going to go until I get him. And that's what you do. It's exactly what you do. Just keep going. Don't get discouraged, and know that you will get that critter if you just stay after it. It's that simple. What else can I say? Just stay with it. You know, It is beautiful. And it's cold. And I get to thinking about a hot cup of coffee and a sitting by the fireplace. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. Yep. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Surely I got enough sense to do that. Oh. Talk to you soon.